Hey everyone, this is Mike here,
And this is Nick.
and yeah, we'll show you guys here how we're setting up the multiplayer. So you'll see as we go into the multiplayer side, there's a lot of people who use different emulators. We're using MuPen 64 in version 1.3.12. That's pretty much the only version out there. It's an old beta, and yeah, everyone can find it.
It's actually it's the only emulator that I know that works for GoldenEye specifically. You can still use Project 64K, which works for I'd say 99% of games out there. You can play games like Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. What else out there? There's a bunch of other games that like people play online with Project 64K, and that works fine.
Hmm.
But for some reason, we couldn't get it to sync properly with GoldenEye. So I was recommended to use MuPen Plus Plus, and it works.
Yeah, so that first thing I'll show you again here. Just you got to find a directory for your ROMs. Obviously, you got to set up your plugins as well. There's a lot of tutorials on how to do that, but for the multiplayer, once you've got your list here, there's a Calera, which is the client we were using, and because my connection sucks, we're gonna set to a lower amount of packets per second, which is good. So once you bring up from the utilities, once you bring up the client, you want to bring up the server list. So you can use pretty much any server you want. Typically, you want to use one with a good ping. But for us, we're using one called out in Chicago called the Galaxy. So
Yeah,
reasonable ping, a lot of players. That's the other one you're looking for. Just one that has a lot of players in general.
and this is pretty much the only one that's relatively populated now with about I'd say on average 50 to 60 people on at any given time.
Hmm.
Now the thing is when you're setting your connection, like Mike set his to good, the player that you're going to be playing with has to have their connection set to the same thing. So if you're playing with people who have their connection set to LAN or excellent, it won't work. So you make sure you have that thing set up to the same as your partner.
Yep. So this is the initial client. You can see Nick is actually a player on the server right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to create a game and host it, you just hit this create button here and you select your ROM. So if I want to do like a GoldenEye, I select that. And this is pretty much what you're going to see. And you got to wait till other players join.
Yeah,
So
like if I were to go, is your game still up?
I'll join yours just to see, because yours is still up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll leave that. That's pretty much all you need to do if you're hosting. If you want to join, well, we've got Nick's game here, and just double click. I mean, pretty much the same interface. The only difference is I can't start or kick because I don't own this game.
One
Uh,
thing I should mention for GoldenEye specifically is if you want this thing to sync properly, under the video options, make sure you have like nothing in those checkboxes checked, no fancy anti-aliasing going
mhm.
on. Just adjust your resolution. That's it.
Yep.
Nothing else.
And yeah, from here, pretty much all you need is to start the game, and we'll show you guys in just a sec what the game actually looks like once we start. So, I mean, you can see I mean, we just ran through the intro there for GoldenEye. And seeing as Nick is hosting the game, I can see his cursor move around. So it's pretty
Yeah.
much the same thing as your local, split screen co-op that you used to do with the 64. Essentially, there's no way to multiplayer back then. It was always local co-op. So essentially, this client syncs both of the games together, and yeah, it kind of does multiplayer in that way. So let's see here. I think you're actually just around the corner.
Yep. Right in this store. Open it up.
You open. So I mean,
Nice.
there's
We're
some.
synced up. Like I'm strafing right now. He can see that on my screen,
Yep.
and vice versa.
Yeah. So when oh, you can't hit me. You do stuff like that. So if it goes out of sync if like Nick shot me there and he hit me, and if he shoots me again, if I don't die, but he's seen me die on his end, then your game's gone out of sync. And it can happen at first, you don't realize it, so you always want to verify real quick before you actually start playing for real. So if you shot me in the foot there,
Yep.
and so obviously you saw me back up right when you shot me in the foot.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there you go. And damn it, I can't hit you when you do that. Come here. Let me hit you.
Okay.
Can't hit you when you're crouching.
Yeah,
I
see, like
got you.
it's perfectly synced up,
Yep.
and it's possible that the game will desync. Like it's very rare that it's happened, but usually like the client itself will freeze for like 4 or 5 seconds, and then it'll come back. But then all of a sudden you've lost connection.
Mhm.
So, I mean, like the game will still play on either of your ends, but nothing will be synchronized anymore.
Yep. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Like I said, pretty much the things you have to be careful about was you got to make sure both of you have the same ROM or game image. So you got to make sure those show up in the client at the very beginning. Once you set up your folders, you want to go through your Calera client business and either join or start a new game depending who's hosting. That's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. You just got to make sure that you got the same ROMs, the same internet speed.
More or less, yeah.
That's
Yeah, that you definitely want to be on the high speed connection. If you're on dial-up, good luck.
yeah. Oh yeah, and you want to yeah. 'Cause that's why you can set the good, medium, high, and all those settings. That changes how many packets per second you're sending to sync, and that's why we lowered ours to 20 instead of 60, just because my connection tends to be a bit bad, and the likelihood of going out of sync is higher if you don't, set a lower number if your internet's settings suck.
Exactly.
But beyond that, yeah, I mean, this works with that DS3 tool as well. We got a video up on that. We're both playing with our uh, PlayStation 3 DualShock controllers. Works really well. Um, it's a bit odd. I mean, you gotta set up different controls for each game, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Um, we're not gonna provide any links, so the software itself is called MuPen++. You saw it at the beginning. You'll have to just give it a quick Google search to find it. And yeah, for the games, I mean, you're supposed to make legitimate backups, so we'll let you guys find how that works.
Yeah, we especially won't be providing any of the ROMs. We're just telling you what software we're using, and it's kind of up to you to find the stuff because the legality of that stuff is a little bit gray.
Yeah, so I mean, you got what you need to, you got the names you need to look for, and pretty much everyone uses either Project 64 or MuPen at this point. You'll see when you go online, and yeah, like I said, that's pretty much all there is to it. So, if you have anything else to add or any new things, you can always comment below and let us know.
Yeah, later, folks.
See you then.